Old Testament was referred to as, listen, the Torah. And the first book in the Torah was called Bereshith. And in Hebrew, the word for create is pronounced like this, Kalaka. Kalaka. Don't believe me, check it out. It's not hard to do. You get on the internet, Google up what is called first Hebrew manuscript of the book of Genesis. You follow me? Not now. 1 second, please. Now, again, hold on a minute, babe. 1 second, you guys. And now listen, again, all you got to do is run a Google search on the first Hebrew manuscript of the book of Genesis. Then run in another window, Hebrew English lexicon. A lexicon, listen now, is a book that will give you word for word, listen, translation of each Hebrew word into the English language. Okay, are you understanding me? All you have to do is match up the characters of the Hebrew word that you are in question of. You will find its literal translation. Okay, are you understanding that?
Yes, sir.
And again, why wasn't it supposed to be called the book of Genesis? I'll tell you why. Because when you say Genesis, you're saying the genealogy of Isis. And who is Isis? Isis is the falsely acclaimed, listen, fertility goddess. Why? Because there's no such thing. There's only one true fertility god, listen, who is the son of Anu, who is the son that Anu is well pleased with, whose name is Men. Which it says in your book of Genesis chapter 6, and it came to pass when men, you hear that? But they spell it M-E-N, watch, saw the daughters, listen, of men, listen, and it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, right? The daughters were born unto them. And the sons of God, you hear that? In the English, it is pronounced sons of God, but in the Hebrew it's called Nephilim. And Nephilim means those who were cast what? Down. And again, it said in the book of Revelations, watch now, there was one, heaven, Michael and his angels fought against the dragon and his angels, right?
Yes, sir.
And they go on to say that, listen, those Nephilim were cast down, correct?
Yeah.
Now watch this. What is the difference between a first-person narrative and a third-person narrative in English literature?
A first-person narrative is coming from the person who's seen it, and the third person is taking it from, like, somebody else.
Exactly. Because the writer in the first-person narrative keeps saying, and I did this, and I did that. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, and in a third-person narrative, the writer is saying, and he did that, or she did that, or they did that. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So in the book of Genesis, is that God talking about himself, or that someone else talking about God?
Somebody else.
Someone else talking about God.
Now wait till you find out who that narrator was. That narrator was the close encounter of the third what?
Kind.
Kind. How do you know? Because this planet is 3/4 what?
Water.
Water.
So you mean 3 times out of every 4 times, where did those beings end up?
In the water.
Now, read Genesis chapter 1, verse 2. Read that out loud. Do you have your Bible?
Yeah, I'm turning to it right now.
Okay. So read that for our listening audience, please.
The earth was without form and empty waste, and darkness was upon the face of the very great deep. The Spirit of God was moving.
So stop. Isn't that talking about darkness being over the face of the waters?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because we know the land would not be considered the deep, correct?
Correct.
And we know that this planet is 3/4 water, and that before continental drift, all the land mass sat at the top of this planet. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
And that land mass was called, listen, Nubia. Wasn't called Africa, wasn't called Asia, wasn't called none of that. So for anybody to call themselves an Asiatic black man, make the only cream of the planet, the father of civilization, that's a bunch of rhetoric that here today we don't need. Those 5%ers only have 5% of the necessary intelligence to say that they know what they're talking about. Because if you say you're an Asiatic black man, there's no such thing as a black what?
Man.
And if you say you're Asiatic, then what are you saying? You come from the whole continent of Asia at one time, or do you come from, a certain place in Asia? Because Asia is a very large what? Continent, correct?
Yes, sir.
And if I say, listen, maker, owner, cream of the planet Earth, I'm saying I was here at its what? Foundation, correct?
Yes, sir.
Before its foundation, correct?
Yes, sir.
And they call themselves the civilized. Don't they know that if you say you're civilized, you're implying that at one time you were not?
Yes,
you
sir.
follow me?
Yes, sir.
So never call yourself the civilized. Call yourself the civilizers. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
So again, when you talk in reference to civilization, watch now, here in our nation, in our courtroom, we have two different types of law. And I don't care what no one says. Have you ever heard of a thing called dyslexia?
Yes, sir.
What is dyslexia?
Isn't that where everything is backwards?
Where it is a sight disorder that children suffer from, that you can go to Pearl Vision or wherever to get corrective lenses that will straighten it out. It's where the child is reading things backwards. Okay, are you understanding me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. The root word of dyslexia is lexis. Do you know what the word lexis means? Like I told you, you can run a Google search on the first, Hebrew manuscript of the book of Genesis, and in yet another window, run a Google search on the word Hebrew English lexicon. Hear it? Lexis. Do you know what the word lexis means?
ISIS?
No, it means law.
Oh.
Did you know that it was law that you read and anything you wrote had to be read and written from right to left? That was law. How do you know? Because Hebrew was written from right to left. Greek is written from right to left. Arabic is written from right to left. Is that not so, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But here today, you're reading English, correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, the English language and its alphabet was part of their, alchemy. You better bet to stop the Lamb of the Most High. And I'll prove it. What do I mean by that? Well, my name 2,000 years ago was not Jesus. If I was standing over there today and you said, hey, Jesus, I wouldn't have even turned around. But here today, if you need that to float your boat, you can call me Jack, you can call me Jane, you can call me J. Jonah Johnson, you can call me the devil himself. I don't care what you call me, just so long as my people get what they need. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
Now, how did the letter J come to be? I'll tell you. Because in the Hebrew language, you have a letter in this alphabet which is called Lemmas. And the three basic cornerstone rules to alchemy is as such. That which is not must be presented first in order for that which is to exist and be legitimized forevermore. Because you wouldn't know it was a sunny day if indeed it was a sunny day every day until it rained. It's only when you come in contact with the things, I'll repeat, true and exact, opposite, that you then can bear witness to its legitimacy. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
And then the second rule is, anything that stands in representation of a thing is indeed a thing. And the third rule is, the smallest thing carries the most power. Now that is basic alchemy for idiots. You follow me? Because that in itself is not too much, and nor is it too little. Because Papa Bear's porridge was too what? Hot. Mama Bear's porridge was what? Too what? Cold. But Baby Bear's porridge was just what? Right. And how many bears were there? You know, just like there are 3 beings on this line right now. So a particular type of alchemy is being done right this what?
Minute.
Moment. But keep in mind, Tahuti is the god of utterance. So if you know it, you better say it so. Because if not, you become a kafaroon, you know. And an omission of truth is just as bad as a lie. So, here it is, Two-Ball Kane Show. Brody Ray Johnson, who is listening now, John's son, like in Johnson & Johnson byproducts, is one of the beings now who has caused the soul train to become derailed. And American Bandstand is now on the road once again. Why? Because here it is, you're standing out front saying, listen now, and introducing to the American public the name Sananda Fu. And keep in mind, there's a being named Sananda. And you don't have what you need, listen, to legitimize. Because in order to bring Sananda Fu, you must first bring his true and exact what?
Opposite.
Whose name was Sananda. See? Now spell another. A-N-O-C-H-E-R. Now take A-N, because what they are doing in their alchemy is introducing to you and me dualities that are not realities. Why? Because they know all the re's belong to us. Every re in the dictionary is ours, just like every C letter. Don't fool yourself. What do I mean by that? Because we go A plus B equals what? C, right?
Yes, sir.
A is the analyzation and assessment. B is the bringing in of what will be better and beneficial to us all. The headbanger boogie. I don't care what it's called, but it will lead you to the other side of the equal sign, which you will then take you to the letter C. And let her and him know that the letter C stands for cooperation, communication, listen, community, common unity, and common sense, which is sometimes the hardest sense to have. Want to know why? Because it's like looking for the salt. It's right there in front of your face. You just don't see that the letter C comes first in the American alphabet, right? And produces a sound that goes like this, right? Sound, right?
Yes, sir.
So what did they need a letter K for? I'll tell you what they needed it for, to introduce to you the KKK, which we know is the Ku Klux what?
Klan.
Right? Who walked around with white what?
Robes.
Robes on, never showing their what?
Face.
And they called their leader the Grand what? Dragon, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against that old serpent. Listen, who is also referred to as the what? Dragon. Don't believe me? Check it out. Because they done drugged you all across the board with this crap. Because if that wasn't so, what would be the reason to have or the need to have a Messiah soul? And without question, ain't nobody else going to pick up the broom of integrity, the dustpan of decency like me, and wipe this planet clean and talk about total renewal. Because no one knows the plan that the Most High have set, listen, to be so. We're talking about total renewal of the blue rock. If it's broke, throw it away. If it's old, refurbish it. Make everything brand what?
New.
New. Get rid of all the old and bring in and new. You see? Because when you say we have 4 corners of the earth, you're talking about those, the same beings who keep the clocks at 10 minutes after 10 in any advertisement that deals with time. Why? Because they want you to believe that what? In the beginning, God what? Created. Why do they use the word created when they know it's not there? I'll tell you why. Because they don't want you to know that no, a circle doesn't have a beginning of time. A circle does not have beginning, nor does it have what?
An end.
And so what those who stand on the square were in an attempt to do with their alchemy was to, listen, bring the circle, listen, to a stop, and to stop it out of existence. Where those who support the circle of all life, listen now, would exist no what? More. How and why? Because they said all things must come to an end. And that is the angle that they use to declare themselves right. Listen now, which is why every corner of a square is at a right 90-degree angle. Because you can't tell if that 9 is a 9, depending upon what view you're looking at it from. Because to you, it could be a what? 6, and you wouldn't what? No. But there's listen, 360 degrees of information in the center, though, which is the knowledge of all things. I'll say, damn the straight and bless the curve. Because I don't care what you say, life and love does not travel a straight what? Line. It travels along a curvature. You follow me? And the sun appears to rise because of it, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I don't care what you say. If indeed mathematics is an exact science, and it is, right? And everybody knows that if you move any one portion of any mathematical equation, everything changes, correct?
Yes, sir.
So how and why, if they told you the circle is 360 degrees, having 180 degrees of positivity on one side, 180 degrees of negativity on the other, and you got eyes and a mind of your what? Own. How is it that you never took the time to say, wait a minute, well, the square has 4 right 90-degree angles, which adds up to be 360 degrees also. So if these two symbols add up to be identical in degree, why do they look different? How is it that no one ever took the time to ask that what?
Question.
And Baba told you all in the beginning of the Holy Tablets, listen now, that the birth of this solar system and its sun occurred when the circle and the square came what?
Together.
And started to vibrate, and by virtue of that, you then heard a sound that went bang, right? And the lights came on. Ain't that what he said?
Right.
Why didn't anybody ever say, but wait a minute, how can all that happen by 2 geometrical symbols coming together? Don't that sound a little wild?
Yeah, it does.
Because he knew that it would only be a little while longer, listen, before the era of ATUN-RE was destined to arrive, meaning the coming back, listen, that I said long time ago I would do, would occur. Okay? Yeah. Now, so what I'm saying to you is, until I wrote the circle and squares part 1 through 3, didn't nobody know that those circles and listen, those symbols were in reference to political parties that are in your heavenly what? Skies? And then the question becomes, well, why hasn't the 144,000 risen of yet? I'll tell you why. Because if you go in the book of Genesis and it says, now the man has become like one of us, he knows good and evil. Good is one thing, right?
Right.
Sir. Yes or no?
Right.
Yes, sir. Good is only one thing, correct?
Yes.
Correct. And then when I go on to say evil, that is yet listen, another thing, correct?
Right.
Yes. And so, how many things do you have there?
2.
2 dualities that are not realities, right?
Right.
Because how you going to have 2 things that govern everything if indeed you live in a 3-dimensional world? You follow me?
Right.
Yes, sir. So you live in a 3-dimensional world, and on that note, the number 3 governs you. I'll prove it. Try to think of something that isn't a person, isn't a place, and isn't a thing. in the human body vessel, you will bust your brain. Because you are governed by the number 3. Always know. And that's why the 144,000 have yet to rise, because they took the center of everything out in order to give their Anu a seat. Because when you spell another, it's spelled A-N-O-T-H-E-R, correct?
Right.
Yes, sir. So if you put a dash in between A-N, and then you have other, that's saying an other, correct?
Right.
The A-N stands in representation of Anu. So you're talking about of yet another, what? Most High what?
God.
Which is not ours, because ours is the real Anu, while theirs is the false. Because our Anu is only Anu by virtue of an election that takes place in the galactical, skies amongst the galactical brotherhoods that happens once every 365,000 galactical years. Listen, which is equivalent to 1 year on Earth being a minute in heaven. Okay? A galactical year is 365,000 Earth years. Okay? So once every 365,000 galactical years, there's an election held. How do you know? Because it doesn't say, listen, the elite, like when you call the few chosen, who become known as they say, the elite, right? If you go and look again, you'll see it's called the elect. In one place it's spelled E-L-I-T-E, and the other place it's spelled E-L-E-C-T, correct?
Right.
Right?
Yes,
okay,
sir.
now, so how is that election won? By mathematical ability being displayed, meaning every being from every portion of the galactics come to a political ready summit. And there they summit all what? Up. Who will be the new Anu this time? And our Anu wins the election every time, to the point that it's driving them literally out their minds, and they're saying that we're cheating. So they knew that only Anu could sign, the order for life and or for death of anything anywhere. You follow me?
Right.
Nothing is happening down here that is not signed into law, by the Most High himself. And you might say, what type of God would allow us to be slaves for 400 years? And I would say the type of God that loves you. Because you can't rule until you first serve. You follow me?
Right.
Because if you rule without having first been a slave, you can only be a dictator. Because you don't know what it is to be a slave. Now, do you, man?
No, sir.
And who have the Rockefellers served? Absolutely no one. And meanwhile, if they were all that intelligent, because the square and its political symbol dictates that all things must come to an end, and then you must make a adjustment in your direction by taking on yet 2 more. Meaning, you get another husband, you get another wife, she gets another husband. Why? Because if not, the 2 become 1, and the 1 in that becomes destroyed and lives no more. Well, that is manifest error. Why? Because those angelic beings were looking at the view, from heaven, hell's kitchen, while we were looking at it from heaven's living room. Because the circle dictates that no, divine love is not shared by 2 like that. If I say I love you today, you and I travel along a curvature of life, and we continue to, travel on, turning and returning to our starting point that then spirals upward and expands, correct?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
So if I say I love you today and then say, yo, I'm changing my phone number, what's this? And it's real, I don't want to have nothing to do with him, right? I changed my phone number, turn off change all the codes to the show, you then start talking about another, Jesus, that you all have never known nothing about being introduced to this Shaddah fool thing, right?
Right.
Well, first off, their Anu had a name. Guess what it was?
Shaddah.
Shaddah. That's right, who is, leader of Astar Command. Because again, Now the man has become like one of us. He knows good, one thing. Evil, only two things. What stands in between good and evil? What stands in between light and darkness? What stands in between, listen, God and the devil? Then becomes a horse of a different color. Because if I say hot, you say what?
Cold.
Oh. What about warm? Now that's real easy for the intellectual mind to reach and find, listen, itself a finding, which is the resting point, where it can settle down with a conclusion, correct? But if I say, what stands in between light and darkness, good and evil, God and the devil, and why those three things? Because they knew those were the three things that we as a people would pay the most attention, what? To. So they removed those three things in an attempt to give their Anu a seat. And I'll be darned, guess whose seat they gave them?
Yours.
Right. Because I sit the center seat. I'm ATUN-RE. You see?
Right.
So they took the center of everything out. They introduced the picture of their God, whose name was Zeus, and put it on the wall of your grandmother saying it was me. All you got to do is go take a picture of Zeus and put it alongside that blonde-haired, blue-eyed hippie with the diaper on that ain't me, and you'll see the likeness thereof. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
Okay? Now, how did the name Jesus come to be? Simple. In their alchemy, they took the letter Lam, because in alchemy, anything that stands in representation of a thing is a thing, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the letter Lamet is what they use. The letter Lam, right? Which is identical to a letter J, but it don't have no blockage. And they created the letter J and gave it a hat, a top piece, right? Because you look at the letter Lam, and you're looking at the letter J without a line over the top. So when they put the line over the top, they produced the letter J in their alchemy, and then they put the A after it. Why? Because they knew, listen now, what they were after. What is the war being fought over? You want to know? Fertility. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
Because what sits in between God and the devil? What sits in between light and darkness? What sits in between good and evil? I'll tell you what. Listen, the confused, which is asked on command. These very same beings will kill you, telling you they love you. And they call themselves ascended masters, of which one is Saint Germain. Don't believe me? Check it out. You can go and Google them right now, and you will see they had their own Michael. They had their own chief white eagle. They had their own so on and so forth, where they bid over everything that me and Baba put out. You see?
Right.
They even have their own Anu, who his name was initially Shenandoah, and it is he who hung near Judas, and he was not a thief. He was a pimp. See? Because his name Shenandoah meant I send her to get her my money. Why? Because he was in charge of all the prostitutes in town square in Rome, being a Roman governmental official. You see? In charge of the prostitution that took place in town's what? Square. Okay, are you understanding me?
Yes, sir.
And when they were killing, listen, Mary Magdalene, listen now, that's because he taught her to be a what? Thief. She wasn't just having sex with her tricks. She was robbing what?
Them.
And she got what? Caught. But as they went to stone her to death, Fernanda stood right there and walked what? Off. Like as if he didn't know nothing what about it. When Mary Magdalene was his bottom hog. You didn't know? Well, now you do. And Mary Magdalene, listen, was Ishtar one in Mesopotamia, listen, who was my mother. Watch now, born by virtue of the union of her and my father, whose name was Demunzi, who changed his name to Hamarambai, listen, at the age 25. then he wrote what is called the Code of Hammurabi and put the hammer down by snatching the crown away from Nana. Listen, who was at that time in charge of all of Mesopotamia, being the brother of Tahuti. You follow me? And in the land of Nod is where it was from which we all came. You follow me? First, being underwater. Listen, in the underwater world of Marin, whose capital was Atlantis. And it is under there we had all the informations that we needed, listen, that you all are just now coming in contact with, that deals with nuclear weapons. Designed by virtue of quartz crystal, properly, listen, being used for construction, not destruction, because they are activated by our annual love. You follow me? Because quartz crystals are alive. You follow me?
Yes.
And what happened was, we came here in search of two galactical criminals. One who was known as, listen, Iblis, who was initially called Azalzilla, the one removed, became known as the rebellious one. Okay? Because he refused to submit to what, listen, the order of the ancient mystic order of Melchizedek. He refused to follow what? Orders. Like someone I know here today. Like whose name is who? Bodie Ray. Because never did I give him an order, listen, to name the show the two-ball what?
Kane Show.
Kane Show. Never did I give him an order, listen, to at any time put any one show what? On, correct? Meaning, even if he called me and said, yo, brother, is it all right if I, put this show on here today and call it so-and-so? Right? That still would be the wrong way. He shouldn't be calling me, telling me what he's going to do and say, right? He should be calling me, asking me if he's following the order of the ancient mystic order of Melchizedek. Want to know why? Because I sit the seat of authority. How do you know? Because he didn't offer not one iota of any of that information. You follow me?
All right.
Meaning he wouldn't know any of it had I not taught him. You follow me?
Yes.
In which, right here today, he will admit, correct? Yes or no?
Correct.
And that is a part of public what? Record, correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, when is he going to realize that if indeed, listen, the being who gave you all this is the being that you hold a responsibility to do the right what?
Thing.
Which is to not take it upon yourself to put one show on where you use any of that information unless you ask what? My permission what?
First.
Which would mean you don't take it upon yourself to name not Nash show, Bodie. And you don't take it upon yourself to ask for anything in my name unless you ask me what?
First.
And even then, that's in manifest error because you shouldn't ask me. You should be waiting on me to tell what? You what to do. Right?
Right.
How do you know? Because if you are a member of Michael's army, that means you belong to some sort of military, correct?
Right.
And if it's called the ancient mystic order of Melchizedek, then that means you have to follow what?
Orders.
And as it is above, so also it is below. Here in the army today, if you're a, sergeant, and you skip over the lieutenant and go straight to the captain, what happens to you?
You get some type of reprimand.
Yeah, you get stripped of your rank. Wanna know why? Because you broke what they call the chain of what?
Command.
Command, which is like Ashar command, right?
Right.
But again, the rules and regulations of war are the same. Just like the rules and regulations of, being in the military remain the same because as it is above, so also it is what?
Below.
below. So don't you know that you are not supposed to break divine what? Order?
Order.
And you are supposed to follow orders to the what? Letter. And that's what Brody has a severe problem with. Just like Cain did. You understand?
Right.
Because again, who is ISIS? ISIS, listen, is declared by who to be a fertility goddess? Shanenda, who is their Anu, which is why all of our women, listen here today, teach our children to give to the mother what they should be giving to the father. Spell the word mother.
M-O-T-H-E-R.
M dash what? Other, correct?
Right.
And what is the monoatomic source? High spin M state materials, correct?
Right.
And in order to bring the God men in, which is why everybody is not having as many babies right here now as they need to, because our fertility in many places and in many times has been stolen. Why the bunny rabbit at Easter? Because Easter is Astor. Easter, Astor, same thing. And the bunny rabbit stands in representation of what?
Fertility.
Bingo. And the eggs are colored. Now let me ask you a question. Does the bunny rabbit lay eggs, yes or no?
No, sir.
So the eggs stand in representation of the egg that comes down our sister's fallopian what?
Tubes.
Tubes. And why were they colored? Because that which is not must be presented first. And what they were saying is we are not colored. In fact, they are confused. How do you know? Because they spell color, what? C-O-L-O-R on one hand and C-O-L-O-U-R on the other. You see?
Right.
Because they say we're not. Which is why the egg had to be what?
Color.
Right, because each time you all, as a Nubian person, went on an Easter egg hunt and found one of those eggs, little did you know that alchemically, through that act, your fertility was being moved from your Ethernet into theirs. That's when Britney Spears, see, because they used to suffer from no ass at all. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, baby got back. Right?
Right.
And Britney Spears is the British spearhead studying Janet Jackson. Right?
Right.
Because you had what? Jackson and John's son. Like Johnson and Johnson, what? Byproducts, right?
Right.
And then you had what? Johnny Walker Red and Johnny Walker what?
White.
Black. Listen, who became known as Punta Kinte, who got his foot cut off. Then why? Because he wouldn't call himself Toby, which is to be or not to be a slave. Then became the what?
Question.
Right? Okay. And all of this information was right up under your nose because you had Johnny come home what? Lately. And they produced, and listen, Pops told you, they are coming after me because of one reason. Penis envy. And what was that about? Because they produced a cat named John what? Holmes, who had a big one that went down a deep what? Throat that brought off the fireworks of Independence Day. And then they put out a movie called Independence Day that showed all them large crafts of what? Aliens being taken down with a mere laptop. And you go to a strip club and get a lap what?
Damn.
Dance. But you ain't topping it off like that. Because Johnny come home lately ain't came home at all. Why? Because the hero, which is spelled H-E-R-O, her represents her O, which is her what? Vagina, right?
Right.
And the hero comes in and saves the what?
The day.
Day. That's Captain Save or what?
Ho.
Ho. Right? Which nobody ever seems to know, right?
Right.
Because their last name is do or do. Like in command what?
Right.
And no one ever seems to know the hero, just like they don't know who Jane and John Doe is, which is the tag they put on your what? So when you're, planted in Potter's Field, because you don't have money to bury yourself. And Bodie want to act like he don't know, but he know full well that in real way, just like Brother Dave, Brother Jay put out the circle and square and signed his name to it, to the point that everybody in cyberspace thought that he was ATUN-RE. And had it not been for my wife stepping in early on the two-ball cane show, Bodie would have been teaching you all the information I was teaching you. I was teaching him without ever mentioning my what? Name. Which is what the public don't know nothing what? About. And why? Because his testimonies were the test for him. To see if he would do the right what? Thing. Now it's all going to be, aired out in an open forum, correct?
Yes, sir.
What does the word forum mean? I'll tell you. For him. Just for him and his bald head. Because Isaac, believe it or not, his wife's name was Rebecca, whose son's name was Jacob, who through an act of deception split the entire family up. You follow me? We weren't supposed to be called the children of Israel. Why? Because the sister put the woman out front. Listen, first, made you give praise to Isis. First, because when you say Israel, it stands in reference to Isis. Ra stands in reference to ATUN-RE, and Amun-Re, which is man, and El stands in reference to God. So she's the Most High God, Anu himself. So she put the Most High last, put the man second, and put herself what? First. When we wasn't supposed to be called that, we were supposed to be called the 24 tribes of El Men Ra. Now that is second setting the record straight. And Bodie didn't know that till I what? Told him. And nor does he know that two-ball Cain means descendants of Cain. But he should have figured that out or found that out before he named the show. Don't you think so?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, again, Cain is a staff that a disabled person would use. And Bodie's using his disability as a what?
Excuse.
You follow me?
Right.
Because again,
hello?
Is it on?
Yeah, it's on.
Because again, I'm sorry to tell everybody to listen to all these, but the truth is, the phone call disconnected because again, the forces that don't want you all to know the truth. And the truth is that Bodie, being Isaac of of many thousands of years ago, further back than 2000, had a wife whose name was Rebecca. Listen, he was blind then like he is blind now. And the truth of the matter is, by virtue of this, his wife was able to act on an act of deception, which is one of the reasons why Bodie is not letting me come. Because he don't want me to know what he's doing, and he don't want me to know what his wife is doing to him. And he knows my eyes would be wide open seeing it all. And I don't care if you love someone. Love stands with its doors wide open. It don't act like it's dumb and like it can tell you just anything. Check this out. If you lie to me, at least be creative. Because a lie can only be a lie if it is supported by 3 or 4 half-truths. So without question, I see why you have to create a means by which to disconnect from me. If you want to keep doing what you've been doing. So now the only other source you can run to is Baba. So now instead of pointing at ATUN-RE, you point towards ATUN-RE, but you forget that Sanandaful, listen, holds the 25th seat, listen, who is, Baba and me at the same time. because I and my Father are one. And yeah, the picture shows Baba as being extremely old, because when you look at Shenandoah, you're looking at, listen, you're not looking at Shenandoah, because they created the letter J, put the letter A behind it, because if you are after fertility, then you have to create the most unfertile act that could ever be known. It's called homosexuality or lesbianism. Because I don't care how many times two men, one is pitching and the other one is catching, ain't no babies coming out of that. So where do you think it came from and why? Because they were after our fertility, and they knew that in order to get it, they had to produce the most unfertile act ever presented. And then that act would have to get legs and get up and walk. And it did, right on into our, universe, where you see many Nubians today participating in those acts. That's when they knew that their alchemy had developed legs and got up and walked. And it would not be a short time until they would be able, to start the circle of life out. And how? Because they said, in order for the circle of life to end, we must give its ending a name. So, and it must consist of 3 words. Why? Because this is a 3-dimensional world. So what did they do? They named the projected ending of the circle with 3 words. And then their endeavor became that they would have to get everyone to say these 3 words, not realizing that when they said the 3 words, that they themselves would be, the uttering agents that would be stomping out the circle of all life. And those 3 words were in the beginning. Because what they were saying is, anything that has a beginning will have an ending, but they won't hear that part. And see, they start you out with the second thing that happened. How do you know? Because they want you to believe that that's the beginning of a thing called time. And everybody here today is living their life off the tick and the tock, right? Forgetting that there's a rest that exists in between, because it goes tick, rest, tock, rest, tick, rest. And it's in the rest that you will get the rest of it, with all the blanks filled in. Because the centerpiece belongs to me. So who better to tell my story that they turned into a mystery than me? See, and can't nobody tell you all why it says in the book of Revelation chapter 21, there will be a new heaven and a new earth, for the old heaven and the old earth will pass away. And why it says right there, and there will be no more sea, which is spelled S-E-A. That's because the letter C will no longer exist, because it is a broken circle. And the family of El-Men-Ra will be restored at that moment. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
How do you know? Because the book itself, it says this is a revelation. First off, but you got, read, first off again, read Luke chapter 1, verse 1. You like this? You got a Bible?
Yeah, I got it.
Read Luke chapter 1, verse 1.
Since all is well known, many have undertaken to put in order and draw up a thorough narrative of the surely established deeds which have been accomplished and fulfilled in and among us.
Read on.
Exactly as they have handed down to us by those who from the official beginning of Jesus' ministries were eyewitnesses and ministers of the word, that is, of the doctrine concerning the attainment through Christ of salvation and the kingdom of God. It seemed good. It seemed good.
This is this part. This is the part I want you to pay attention to. It seemed good what?
It seemed good and desirable to me, and so I had
to who? Stop. To who?
To me.
To me, right?
Yes, sir.
To write these things unto you is what he says, correct?
Yes, sir.
So in other words, who gave those words to Luke?
Nobody.
He took it upon himself to sit down and write that, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, so in other words, where in that does he become an authority? He said, because everybody saw what happened, and I heard what happened, right? It seemed good to me, having perfect understanding of what took place, to sit down and write these words unto you. Right? That's what he's saying. Now go to the first line of the book of Revelation.
All right, it says, this is the revelation of Jesus Christ, his unveiling of the divine mysteries God gave to him to disclose and make known to his bound servants certain things which must speedily come to pass in their entirety, and he sent and communicated it through his angel messenger to his bond servant John.
Okay, stop. Who sent it?
God sent it.
Okay, so whose words are those?
These are God words.
There you go. Now, isn't there a difference between God sending a book down to me now? Check this out. That I would have things that I would need to be able to say things in the time which was yet to come, which is right now. And Luke sitting down saying to himself, I felt good to me, so I just went on and did it. Isn't there a difference between that? Which one are you going to put your trust and faith in?
To the one that God sent.
All right. And so what I'm saying to you is, never did in that book it say what the war was being fought for, correct?
No, it hasn't.
Now you want to tell me God made a mistake?
No, sir.
You want to know how it's like that and why?
Why is that?
Because William Tisdale and King what?
King James.
Were a part of your what?
Illuminati.
Bingo. And they took out the center of everything because they knew the center seat belonged to me. And they said that Jesus died on the what?
On the cross.
But the name Jesus came into existence because they created the letter J alphabetically. And what they were looking at is a symbol that stood in representation of the Lamb of the Most High, and then they blocked it, creating the letter what? J. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Then they put the A because after J, because anytime you add the letter A to the end of a word, it takes it from its masculinity to its femininity. It takes Erica, who becomes Erica. Tony becomes Tanya, and homosexuality is born. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
And keep in mind, Alexander put together the first library in Tamaray after we had left under the Hyksos dynasty and called it the Library at Alexandria. That's when Alexander came out the closet. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And they took the word Jah and put it in front of their Anu's name, which was Zeus. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
And produced the word Jesus, which gave birth to the word what?
Jesus.
Which was not my what?
Name.
And who is Bodie giving praise to here today?
Jesus.
So who is he praising me, or is he praising their Anu and don't even know?
He's praising their Anu.
And he better get his head what?
Straight.
Because we are not Egyptians. We are Tamarayans. The word Egyptian comes from Egyptos, which means burnt face. But if our elders, listen, need that rug to float their boat, who am I, even though I am he, to come along and snatch that rug from underneath their feet by virtue of a name if they need that name, then they can call me Jesus, they can call me Jack, they can call me Jane, they can call me J. Jonah Johnson, they can call me any name that starts with the letter J, they what?
They won't.
Even if that name was created by the devil, him what?
Himself.
It don't matter to me, because it's not right for me to snatch that rug from underneath their feet, which is why I allowed it to go on. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
And the truth be told, that an omission of the truth makes you kafaroon. So I knew, even if Bodie didn't know, that there was a day coming that I would have to step out front and tell the what?
Tell the world.
That without question, truth was made to be what? Told. Because if you seek for the truth, you'll find it. Meaning that every word I'm saying is what?
True.
True. And the truth will make you what? Free, correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, what would be the necessity to be made free if indeed you weren't living in some sort of bondage?
Correct.
And what is binding you is an alchemical, equation that first was called the cross. First they hit you with the cross, then they hit you with the double cross, then they hit you with the crisscross and turned everything backwards and made you jump. See?
Yes, sir.
And now they're hitting you with a thing called the cold twist. Like in, let's twist the night away with Chubby what? Trickler. On a checkerboard what? Floor in London, which is their headquarters. You see?
Yes, sir.
And it's behind the doors of certain lodges that they have a saying that goes like this: what will you do when you find a child? And the answer is, I will protect him as if he is my very own, with my very life if need be. And the next response is, how will I know I'm sharing the child's company? And it is the being of whom it is you all seek. And the response is, he will be the being who knows all without having been taught. So when I stepped out front, what these people were saying is, who is his sponsor? Because in order to become a Freemason, you have to have a what? Sponsor. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
And they went through their hall of records, and they could not find out who sponsored me. They're saying, wait a minute, you mean to tell me this Mark Brady don't have no sponsor? And they say, no, we don't see him on record. They said, well, he must have learned from his father, that Dr. York person, right?
Right.
But then when they check the record, they see that I wasn't around Baba that long to learn this much information. So they're saying, how does he know all of our doctrine like that? And you got certain ones who are saying, he has got to die. And you got other ones who are saying, oh, no, he don't. Which is the only reason I'm still alive
right now.
Because they're saying the reason he ain't going to die is because you all took an oath to protect him. And according to the United States Constitution, I have the freedom of what?
Speech.
I can say anything I want.
Won't.
And I am not governed by anybody's oath of what?
Oath of office?
Secrecy. Secrecy. You see?
Right.
I am not a Freemason, nor have I ever been in the Masonic Lodge. You follow me?
Right.
Because the truth of the matter is, a master, listen, is never free. From what? Responsibility. You see?
Yes, sir.
So it's my responsibility to step out front and let everyone know that OSOICE side ISIS. How? By secretly getting herself to participate in a, orgy in the desert that brought about the first, female-on-female sexual act. Because sex was never supposed to be called sex, because that's another way of calling it sick, or six, the number 6, which is imperfect. You see?
Right.
It was supposed to be called 7.
Right.
Without any contraceptives, which is just another way of saying deceptive, thinking great. You see?
Yes, sir.
So, again, yeah, I would want me to shut up too. If I can speak as good as I do, and everything, check this out, this being was saying was pulling for my butt and all the I do, I be